Avowed is the newest game from fan-favorite developer Obsidian Entertainment, a first-person action RPG set in their Pillars of Eternity universe, promising a rich world full of interesting characters, deep character customization, and vast regions to explore. While it's not hard to see where the game draws its inspirations from, Obsidian clearly set out to improve upon the formula set by its peers through open-ended class builds, strategic combat, and their signature quirky writing providing plenty of role-playing opportunities fueled by player choice. It's easy to look at Avowed and think, oh yeah, they're just trying to give us a better Skyrim, which is not only reductive, but also an insult to both games. I can confidently say Avowed feels like its own thing, and in some ways actively goes against the frameworks we've seen in franchises like Elder Scrolls, The Witcher, and Baldur's Gate. It's unfortunate then that while it desperately tries to leave its own mark on the genre, it comes up short in nearly every single aspect, ironically solidifying it as a smaller, cheaper imitation of all the big players in the space. From a slow burn narrative with very few interesting characters, written in ways that make even the MCU blush, to an embarrassingly shallow combat sandbox that's hamstringed by one of the worst gear progression systems I've seen in the genre. I'm also very sad to say it's all wrapped up in a world that feels lifeless and empty, full of repetitive, unrewarding exploration. The few moments where I sat there thinking, I'm glad Obsidian did their own thing, were heavily overshadowed by the moments I wish they had just copied Skyrim. They set out to fix what wasn't broken, and in the process managed to overlook the very basic fundamentals that were established well over a decade ago. While this certainly is not a bad game, its complete lack of originality, repetitive moment-to-moment gameplay, and painfully slow exposition-heavy narrative all hold back any of the potential that manages to occasionally shine through. There's no doubt that a lot of players will enjoy the game, as it does offer a complete RPG experience in a dense world with tons of sights to see and quests to complete. However, for me, the entire game felt like a series of mandatory checklist features. Nothing particularly stood out as memorable, and I think that's ultimately going to be the sad fate of Avowed. A painfully average game that's forgotten in a week, even by its biggest fans.